Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is safe and sound and enjoying their Sunday afternoon with their family and loved ones. In today's video, I want to talk about Palantir and Palantir's connection to the NHS. If you have been under a rock, or maybe you are new to Palantir, or maybe you just have no idea what I'm talking about, the NHS is the National Health Services of England or the UK. And the NHS has a massive, massive problem with backlog, staffing, so on and so forth, that is making it one of the most inefficient healthcare systems in the entire world. And it's not getting better anytime soon. Now, you have a couple of choices of what to do with that healthcare system to make it more efficient. And one of the ways you do this is through data, to become more efficient with your data. And this is where Palantir comes into play. Now, you might be asking, well, Adam, what are you talking about still? The NHS has a massive, massive $600 million equivalent contract that's up for grabs. And it was supposed to be announced that Palantir won this contract a while ago, but this was already extended for over 6 months, mainly due to political fighting, political reasons, so on and so forth. Because Palantir, of course, is the spy company founded by Peter Thiel, who's a huge donor of the Republican Party, who supports Donald Trump, so on and so forth. It's absolutely absurd that that's how they label Palantir, which there's nothing wrong with supporting a political candidate, but they completely disregard what Palantir does. But what exactly does Palantir do? Palantir is able to help you use your data that you keep, that Palantir does not have access to, and become efficient with that specific data. Get so efficient with a single point of truth that you're able to overhaul your entire system and actually start saving money with that system, start saving lives with that system, and just become a much better healthcare provider. You think I'm crazy and I don't make sense, but there's a guy called Ayub Bayat. And Ayub Bayat just made a brand new article, I'm going to read it in just a moment, where they explain exactly what Palantir has done for the NHS so far. And that so far, he mentions that Palantir was able to save the NHS 700 million. Not 100 million, not 200, not 300, not 400, not 500, not 600, but 700 million. Well, if Palantir is able to save you 700 million, and that's pound, and the NHS contract is 480 pound, well, Palantir is bringing over 200 million pound in value to the NHS, and it essentially pays for itself. Palantir has been cultivating this relationship for quite a while, literally planting seeds during the COVID era. You see, during COVID, Palantir was allowing for COVID and PPE distribution all over the United States and the UK. They started with a $1 contract with the NIH, and they started with a £1 contract with the NHS. That £1 contract with the NHS became a £1 million contract 1 year in December 2020. In December 2021, that became a £23.5 million deal for 2 years. In January 2023, $11.5 million extension for 6 months. And in June 2023, they did a £24.9 million 1 year transition for the existing system that they have that's actually being used on top of Palantir, which I'll show you guys in just a moment, to a new FDP system, which is called the Federated Data Platform. Now, at this point, Palantir is not a lock to get this contract, although it is strongly assumed that Palantir did or is or will get this contract, although it keeps coming delayed, and there's a lot of hate and political red tape where people care more about hatred of Palantir than saving lives. Now, all the numbers that I just gave you right now should start making, some sense in your mind and ringing a bell, because all those contracts that I just mentioned, the 1 million, 23.5, 11.5, 24.9, that's in pound. And if you convert it into dollars, that's approximately $75 million. $75 million from December 2020 to let's say December, 2023, right? Let's just say it's the full year. So you literally have the entire 2021, 2022, 2023. So Palantir is making around $25 million per year working with the NHS so far. Now, obviously, these numbers are absolutely massive. I want to read you this article in just a moment. And the reason why I gave you all these numbers is for some of the haters are going to say, oh, Palantir can't do this or Palantir shouldn't do that. But Palantir is most certainly, not in my words, saving lives, saving time, and saving sanity of the employees of the NHS. Now, this is not throughout the entire NHS, which I'll read you in just a moment. But this is a pilot program in a lot of the institutions of the NHS. Palantir works. And if Palantir didn't work, they wouldn't have gotten $75 million worth of contracts over the last 3 years. People seem to forget or maybe not know about all the massive contracts that Palantir is absolutely smashing. Now, there is some more things I'm going to introduce in this video, so please sit back, relax, and watch this screen. This is an article. It's labeled NHS England reports early benefits from data systems. And this is literally from October 20th. This is fresh. This is, I believe, from Friday, if I'm not mistaken. The NHS England is reporting substantial benefits in supporting hospitals and patients from early use of 2 data systems that are now being rolled out nationally. Ayub Bayat, the organization's Director of Data Services and Deputy Chief Data and Analytics Officer, described the achievements of the Care Coordination Solution and Optica application at this week's UK Authority AI and Data for Good conference. Guys, these are literally the solutions that Palantir is making. This right here, the the Care Coordination Solution is literally, you remember I said that Palantir got a £25 million contract that's transitioning them to the FDP. They're transitioning this system into the new FDP system. So keep that in mind. And if you're unclear who this person is, I just want to show you their LinkedIn, although I did read you what they do. Ayub Bayat, Deputy Chief Data and Analytics Officer, Director of Data Service Interim at the NHS. So you might say, well, Adam, he's just an interim. He doesn't really have that much experience. And if you go a little bit lower, his interim position is just 8 months here. However, he has been working with the NHS for quite a while. Check this out. He worked with the NHS England and NHS Improvement full-time for almost 3 years, besides for the 8 months that he has this brand new position. So that's 3.5 years. And then before that, he was working for 2 years, 8 months in the NHS right here. He has another 3-year, 7-month stint at the NHS at head of commissioning information, so on and so forth. So it's safe to say that this is somebody that has a lot of experience in the NHS and is climbing the ladder in rank. Both systems have been deployed by the NHS or developed by the NHS as part of its effort to intensify the use of data tools based on the experience of COVID-19 pandemic. And I quote, "So working with clinics and operational staff on the ground, we developed the Care Coordination Solution," Bayat said. It enables activities in terms of exposing waiting lists for consultants, ensuring theater productivity is maximized, and how it supports the prioritization of outpatients. Now, for anybody unfamiliar with what a theater is like a home base or a command center, so to speak, for the hospital. That's my understanding. It includes modules for elective waiting list managements, theater scheduling, outpatients, managements, and referral to treatment validation. And these are some extensive integrations, and these are all quotes, guys. This is not me, not Tom, not Amit, not Arnie, not Matt, so on and so forth, not Palantir Research and the other amazing content creators. And by the way, Twitter heads, Palantir, Palantards, Chad Palantir, Ether Squared, Lord Grimm, Deep Value, every single one of these people and everybody that I'm not mentioning are an vital, integral part of the Palantir community. Shout out to CodeStrap. We basically integrated a lot of data from its different systems, including rostering and pre-operative systems. He said, none of this information sits in one place. You have to liberate the data. And as we have done that, it has had tremendous impact. Remember, he's saying liberate the data. So for you guys to understand what exactly he means by liberate the data, that means Palantir always, if you hear interviews of Palantir or interviews by Palantir or interviews of companies or governments that are using Palantir, there's a single statement that you're going to keep hearing over and over again in many different ways, but it's the same statement. Palantir provides a single source of truth. That's what they mean. Instead of having disparate data information and data systems, Palantir puts everything together, plus a digital twin, and now Palantir artificial intelligence platform, and boom, you literally have some absolute beautiful magic. And it's not just for the NHS, it's not just for healthcare, although Palantir went from no percent to 1% to 10% to 13% to 16% of all United States hospital beds being run on Palantir. Think about that. And this is in a matter of 2 years. From nothing to 16%. Guys, let that sink in. 16% of all hospital beds in the United States is run on Palantir. It's absolutely freaking massive, guys. And I quote, "It has allowed us to go forward with activities such as recommending to consultants which patient is best suited and available minutes in a session to available minutes in a session. The system has so far, this is the gravy, been deployed at 35 hospital trusts with more to come, and 26 reporting benefits from its use." 26 of 35 is approximately, I would like to say, right, 75% or so, maybe 80%. That's a massive freaking number. That's not a small number, right? A number of quantitative benefits have been reported, including that 13.3% of patients on waiting lists were flagged as priorities for investigation, and operating theater utilization increased by an average of 6.3% across 22 trusts. In addition, a significant number of patients on the waiting list have been flagged for investigation or requested for removal and no longer needed to be seen. That's freaking amazing. Now, if you go a little bit lower, I don't want to read you this entire, article. If you want it, I'll leave a link to it down below. And while you're there, you might as well like, share, subscribe. And now Bayat is going to explain the actual benefits. Bayat said the applications are now in use at 12 trusts, and the results have included 50% fewer patients than the national average occupying a hospital bed for 21 days or more, a 36% reduction in the average number of delay days, and a 25% reduction in long length of stays for patients. This has prompted, guys, listen up, a forecast that on a national scale, it could save 1.8 million delay days over 21 days per patient, equivalent to 700 million pounds. That's what I was talking about in the beginning of this, that if you expand this contract nationally to all of the NHS, it's going to pay for itself and then some. And I quote, "These are amazing numbers and the qualitative benefits are far higher," he said. "We are receiving regular feedback from individuals across hospitals telling us how easier it is making their daily lives in running their hospitals." Guys, I showed you Ayub's profile, and I hope Ayub is a man. I'm sorry. If you're a woman, I apologize. Man or woman, Ayub. But besides for that, there was two massive hires from Palantir. This is Indra Joshi, right? So Indra Joshi, you saw her a couple of times. She speaks on behalf of Palantir. She's been working for Palantir for 1 year and 6 months. She's the Director of Health, Research, and Artificial Intelligence, okay? High position in Palantir. If you go a little bit further, wow. For 2 years and 4 months, she was the Director of Artificial Intelligence at National Health Services, overseeing and leading on creation and formation of the NHS AI lab. Besides for that, there's another person, Harjeet Dalawal. She's a deployment strategist at Palantir, working there for 1 year and 7 months. Before that, she was the Deputy Director of Data Services, you guessed it, for NHS for 2 years and 7 months. Before that, she worked at NHS England for 4 years and 6 months as Head of Data Services and the Deputy head of DSCRO Service Improvement, the Data Service for Commissioners Program. Guys, it's clear to see what's happening here. It's clear to see that Palantir is a clear winner, but not a clear winner for like, hey, in theory, we can do this, or in theory, we could do that, which is essentially what all the haters and all the competitors and all of the, honestly, all of the naysayers of Palantir are saying when they know that Palantir delivers the goods. But Palantir is saying, not technically, not possibly, not we have something that could work, but in actuality, we have something that actually already works and is proven in the field, specifically in your field of healthcare, specifically in your already existing NHS system. It would be absolutely silly for Palantir not to get this contract. This contract was supposed to be announced at the end of last month. I believe September 27th and 28th was the official announcement. This was delayed. The NHS is deploying £2 million as a campaign to formally announce or instruct or educate NHS patients, the public, about data and sharing of data or lack thereof, or not sharing, but in general, and not specifically for Palantir, in general, they're doing an education program right now, which I believe is just easing the public for Palantir getting this contract. Literally, the directors of NHS came out and said that Palantir is the shit. Not just this person, but before, there was like literally a presentation where they said Palantir actually works. Not to mention saving lives with cancer patients. Right now is October 22nd. Palantir got hit around 5% down on Friday. We're literally up like 170% year to date. We're up 60-something% all time. And Palantir is doing really, really well. Despite what some people might tell you that this is not priced, that this is priced in, this is not priced in. And I think maybe in earnings, which I believe is in 2 weeks or so, that's when they're going to announce that they got this NHS contract, which would be super dope on earnings to announce. Now, it is possible Palantir is not going to get this contract, and that sucks. But if they get this contract, which I believe that they will and are and did, then it's going to be really amazing because it shows perseverance, and even with political tape and hate and against all odds, Palantir was able to get the job done because of the actual abilities of Palantir. Not schmoozing, not ass kissing. The actual abilities of Palantir is what got them this contract, because that's what got them where we are right now so far. And just like everything else, including what's happening with AIP, Palantir likes to give you a little taste. For example, that £1 contract that turned into $75 million contract that's probably going to become a $600 million contract. Palantir is letting companies and governments get a taste of what Palantir can do. Beautiful showcase by Ukraine, showcasing Palantir AIP. It's absolutely an amazing, amazing, amazing partnership, an amazing showcase. Palantir is going to grow like wildfire, and so is the share price of Palantir in the future. I truly believe this is going to be a $1 trillion company. I have never been so bullish in my life. And yes, I was even buying at $17 a share for Palantir. I bought more, $15 a share of Palantir. I am increasing my position of Palantir, and I'm just waiting for some more funds to clear up, and I will be buying more Palantir. Thank you so much for all my channel members. I hope you're paying attention to the channel member videos. I just made one about cryptocurrency. It seems like that is starting to come true. And I'll be making a new one soon. If you guys want to support the channel and become channel members, $3 a month. I do exclusive content for channel members. And if not, just support my coffee habit at $3 a month. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.